What is up? And welcome to a segment called Bevs and Breakdowns. And what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be discussing the accuracies and inaccuracies of military uniforms, tactics, gear, and all that stuff in the movies. Before we dive in, let's take a look at the credentials. So military movies have been trying to get all this down to a science, right? Probably for the last 20 years or so. But some movies have more of a budget than others. And let's take this one for an example. This is The Covenant with Jake Gyllenhaal. From my personal experience, right, this has to do with the U.S. Army Green Beret. And I can tell you right now that they did not take the time to really hone in the basics and the fine details of what makes these guys elite operators. So for one, from my personal experience, nobody in special operations is using an ACOG sight, which is that little scope right up there, right? That's a regular military thing. That's like, Marines use it, regular Army guys use it. You're not going to be seeing too many people in special operations use that. Also, another thing to look at is the patch on his chest. It says ISAF. That's a patch that's usually given to, like I said again, regular Army individuals who deploy to these different areas, specifically Afghanistan, and that patch is worn on your left shoulder. Another thing I pointed out was the helmet. You can clearly tell it's a bump helmet, and it's not like your typical OpScore or Team Wendy ballistic helmet. Helmets like these are used for, just jumping out of airplanes. It's kind of like a bike helmet. But you can tell the difference in quality and the structural integrity that it lacks in this one. And one show that gets it right is a show called SEAL Team, which is now on Paramount Plus. So this guy right here, his name is Clay Spencer. He is one of the guys on the show, and they put millions of dollars into the props in this show. So I'm just going to go over a couple of the basics. So you've got these two tubes on the top of his helmet. Those are PVS 31s. Those are night vision goggles. Those are used by special operations forces. You're not going to be seeing them using single tubes, which are the PVS 14s. You've also got a ballistic helmet, like I pointed out in the last one. This is an OpScore to be exact. Ear protection. These are Peltor Comtac 3s. I'm not sure if they're a single com or a dual com. I would like to think that they were dual com, just in case they have to run two different radios at the same time, talk to different assets on the same headset without having to, unplug one and put it into another. You've also got the basic, H&K 416 build with a SOCM suppressor on the end of the barrel. Looks like you've got an LA5 for the PEC laser and a Leupold Mark 6 optic. Phenomenal job with the gear and props on this show. As you saw, there was a person in a reticle like this. Probably know him as crosshairs. And what happened was you see little dots along the top or along the vertical plane and the horizontal plane as well. What those are called, those are mil dots. And what you do is you use them to determine the distance of a target. So you measure someone from the top of the head to the groin, 40 inches, okay? You're going to take 40 inches, you're going to multiply it by 25.4, and the number you get is 1016. That is your constant, right? So normally what you can do to make your math easier, just round it down to 1,000. You're only going to be off by like 16 meters, right? And then however many mil dots it takes to measure the body, right, from head to groin, you'll divide that number, right? So let's say it was 2 mil dots. So you would take 1,000, divide that by 2, you get 500. That's the distance. In conclusion, not all military films are created the same, and not all military films have the same budget, right? So normally what wouldn't catch your eye would catch someone like mine's eye, but that's it for Bevs and Breakdowns. See you next time.